your heart is pounding, your breathing quickens, and your palms are sweating. All you can think is, I have that test tomorrow that I haven't even started studying for, and that project, it's due, and the list, it just goes on and on. It feels like we're stuck in this never-ending loop of stress, constantly worrying about everything. As a high schooler myself, I can definitely say that I've been there. In fact, I've worried about this very speech one too many times. Now, I don't know if you guys can relate, but when I'm stressed, people often tell me that stress is bad for me, or that stress is taking off years of my life. The funny thing is, that makes me feel even more stressed. Now, I want you guys to take a second to think about your own stress. Consider how much time you've lost because of it. You might start to wonder, is stress even that bad for me? If so, how do I differentiate it and stop its effects? Wait, what even are its effects? Well, the simple thing is, stress makes our biological clock speed up, while relaxation makes our biological clock slow down. The thing we should be worried about is chronic stress. And yes, before you get stressed, there are ways that we can deal with it. To fight stress, we must first understand it. It all begins with our brain. When we're stressed, our brain's amygdala sends out a distress signal to our hypothalamus, which then releases the hormones cortisol and adrenaline. This causes a physiological response. The problem begins when we're exposed to too many stressors for a prolonged period of time, because that can lead to us feeling overwhelmed. Our body's natural response to this overwhelming feeling is fatigue, anxiety, loss of concentration, and even health complications. I know this sounds scary, but before you get stressed, I'm going to teach you some management strategies. Now, I think the real question on all of our minds is, what makes stress bad? Well, the thing is, stress isn't inherently bad or good. It has different aspects to it. Good stress, or eustress, is short-term and can lead to us feeling motivational or inspirational. Bad stress, or distress, can lead to negative health outcomes, as well as make us feel worn out. Bad stress can also be called chronic stress, because it affects all systems of our body. Some symptoms of this chronic stress include making mistakes on routine tasks, not taking care of yourself, focusing too much time and energy on small things, feeling paralyzed, and isolating yourself. We want to avoid this kind of stress as much as we possibly can. One strategy I like to use for this are the 5 R's of stress: rethink, relax, release, reduce, and reorganize. Rethink is using your mind to deal with negative thoughts. Relax is to calm yourself down in stressful situations. Release is letting go of stress-related tensions. Reduce is changing your stressors into motivation. And finally, reorganize is to change your life to be more healthy and stress-resistant. These strategies allow you to analyze the situation, engage in relaxation techniques, minimize your stressors, and finally, restructure your life to better cope with pressure. When I was in a particularly stressful week, I used these strategies to remind myself to calm down and reduce my stress as I went along. I know this is pretty simple, and you've probably heard about these before. In fact, the 5 R's are basically all antonyms to stress. Now let's be specific with our strategies. I know we all have bad habits. For example, I tend to wait until the last minute to get a project done, even though I've been worrying about it since the teacher assigned it to us. Well, in 2025, one of my resolutions was to enact better habits that would reduce my overall stress. These included journaling, exercising, getting more sleep, and going out to get more social connections. Some other strategies that you can enact include mindfulness and meditation, as well as just laughing more. When we laugh, we take in oxygen-rich blood, which stimulates our heart and other muscles. This increases the amount of endorphins released by our brain. On top of this, it mellows down our stress response by reducing our heart rate and our blood pressure. Another strategy I found was movies. Next time when you're choosing a movie, maybe opt for a comedy instead of a scary one to activate and release your stress response. Another strategy that I really enjoy is journaling. This is because it activates the rest and digest process in your parasympathetic nervous system, which regulates your heart rate, breathing, and blood pressure. A strategy that I found kind of weird was aromatherapy, which sounds fancy, but it's just using scents like chamomile or lavender to increase your sleep and reduce your stress. It does this by causing your brain to release the hormone serotonin, which is considered a feel-good chemical, and by awakening the emotions and memories section of your brain. Overall, the best way that we can reduce our stress is to think positively, solve problems, manage our time and priorities, and go outside to reap the natural benefits of the sights and sounds around you. Now, I know there's many ways that we can improve ourselves, but it's important that we don't forget about therapy. Social support from other people is a big way that we as humans improve ourselves. There are many different kinds of therapies that deal with stress. Cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as mindfulness-based stress reduction, are two especially effective therapies that work on chronic stress. CBT focuses on changing negative thought patterns to be more balanced, constructive ones, changing the way we act in stressful situations. MBSR, on the other hand, focuses more on mindfulness meditation, making it so that we're more present in the situation, as well as reducing overwhelming feelings that can come in stressful situations. Both of these strategies are extremely effective in changing our coping strategies, as well as bringing stronger mindsets. Take time to learn about yourself and your stress. As we've come to know, stress is a lifelong bully. But by gaining insights on it, we can learn how we can grow and we can stand up to it. By figuring out how stress works with our body, we learn where we're going wrong when we're dealing with it. Next time you're worried about the effects of your stress, think to yourself whether it's good or bad. Remember the 5 R's to help you deal with stressful situations. There are many different ways we can deal with stress, including therapy and better habits. Enacting these into your daily life, as well as just making the choice to be better, serve as pillars for improvement. Stress is universal and at times overwhelming. You just need to know how to stand up to it. As comedian Dave Barry once said, stress is waking up screaming and realizing that you never fell asleep. So next time stress hits, just remember, the best way to deal with it is to breathe, laugh, and maybe snooze a couple more times. Thank you.